I want you to think of your self-worth as universal currency. You deserve everything. Have you ever felt that no matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter what you say, all of these things, they're just like not enough. You're not skinny enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not hot enough. You're not smart enough. You're not organized enough. You're not disciplined enough. You are just full of I'm not enough. Like you have to earn your place in this world. First of all, when you're doing that, you're operating in a very strong masculine energy. And if you're a guy, hey, I don't know what you're doing at a girls only meeting, but hey. Growing up, I always felt like I was I'm not white. Surprise, I'm not white. I grew up in a town that was predominantly white, blue eyes, blonde hair, maybe brown hair, green eyes. It was just very Caucasian. And also went to college like that. It was completely a PWI for the girls that know, you know what that means. Anyway, I was in environments where I didn't meet the beauty standard. I wasn't the beauty standard. I grew up overweight severely. Y'all remember when they would do the BMI tests and then they would send the results in the mail to like parents? And I remember lying to my friends and being like, oh, mine hasn't come yet. I don't know. And everyone's like, oh, I was underweight. Oh, I was this. Oh, I'm like overweight. Oh my gosh, I need to lose weight. Meanwhile, I'm like biggest one in the room. This is the 4th grade. What are we talking about? If you're overweight, what am I? Obese. I was in the obese category, yes, for a long time. Anyway, my whole identity felt like it just wasn't it. It was drummed into my mind, into my brain, that I am not enough. Mind you, I'm the only daughter in an African household, middle child at that. Do I need to say more or do you get the picture? Are you getting the picture or do I need to say more? It felt like my whole identity was under the microscope of me and whatever was trending on Tumblr. So for most of my life, I thought my worth was tied to what I looked like, to achieving this ideal image of how I would finally be when I was accepted. I thought I had to earn my place. I thought I had to earn love, to buy it with my visage, with how I looked. Like I had to do that because it's the currency of being accepted. I had to have a currency, something, pretty privilege you can call it, to be validated, to be enough in all of these different things. I did this with academics. I was like, I want to be a doctor because I want to help people, number one. And then obviously I don't play small, so I want to go to the best school. I wanted to be something so bad so that I would finally rest. But then I realized something life-changing. I realized it was brought to my attention. It was brought to my understanding. Your sense of worth, your self-worth isn't something you buy, isn't something that is foreign. It's something that's inherent. I had to reframe my entire idea of being enough. I even have a book. I think there's a book on my mother's bookshelf of some ridiculous book, like, I Am Not Enough, that I bought out of anger and haste and like tears because I was just like, I don't know how to recover from this debilitating feeling, to feel like you're not enough. So there's this economic principle called the double coincidence of wants. You can look it up if you want, but basically it makes a case for barter system. We live in a monetary system. We use money to transact, right? So we live in a monetary system, but the double coincidence of wants is like, let's say you're a mechanic and someone needs mechanical services. They can, in the monetary system, pay you with money for your services. But in the barter system, you would trade their services for something. Let's say you want to give them tools or you want to give them, like you would trade off something, because there has to be a way to compensate this person for what they've done, and it has to be something that they want. So it becomes like a double coincidence of wants. You both want the same thing. You can both be mutually beneficial to the other. For a trade to happen, each person has to want what the other person has. This is kind of like attraction too. It's a very intricate game. No money, no exchange. No thing that I want, no exchange. Everyone wants money, so the money system works. That's why it exists. So growing up, I felt like I was always bartering. If I get skinny enough, then I will be accepted. If I get pretty enough, then I'll be accepted. I remember I started playing with eyeliner in, I don't know, maybe 9th grade or something. It looked crazy because it just looked crazy and it was blue and all these things. But I was like, if I'm like this enough, then I'll be accepted. Or if I have like alternative look, then I'll be accepted. Everything was for acceptance, to gain acceptance, to feel like I was part of something. This is really sad looking back, Jesus. Where I had to always be the friend who's like the listening ear to get acceptance. You know that friend who like everyone goes to for advice? I was that friend, not out of choice. It kind of naturally is a bit who I am. It started as me wanting leverage to make friends. Because if I can always be a listening ear, then you have a reason to want to be my friend. Not for me being me, but just because you have someone who listens to all your problems kind of thing. Like, always be like, what's going on? Always thought I had to barter for attention, barter for acceptance, barter for friendship. I felt like I didn't have the right currency to be valuable. It never worked. And that's the fallacy in it. It never works. You cannot barter for acceptance. And counter argument, pretty privilege exists. You know, that like free stuff. I lost a lot of body weight. The way that I'm treated now is insane. Get free drinks, as in coffee. I don't drink alcohol. Just people are exceptionally kind for no reason. And it's the whole halo effect. It's biology. It's just how God made man. I felt like I didn't have the right currency to be seen as valuable. Like, nothing was really working for me. This is where a lot of the evil comes in. And this is where I want you to pay a lot of attention, because you can come from a place like that growing up and then move into more dangerous territory, quote unquote, where you're looking for male validation, male acceptance because no one's ever liked you back, or no one's ever like, I don't know, you've never been on a date. I've never been on a date, you guys. It's not that crazy. It's not a big deal. The older I get, the cuter it is, because I'm like, I just don't want to waste my time. Thank you. It gets dangerous when you then give away pieces of yourself, your virtue, compromise yourself, essentially. You compromise your body, essentially, because there are like spiritual implications to all of these things, and it causes so much unnecessary heartbreak. But what you're looking for is acceptance, validation, whether you grew up with your dad, didn't grow up with your dad, grew up with like issues at home, whatever. A lot of messy stuff starts to happen if you don't have this foundation. Then it hit me though. You don't need to trade. I don't know when it did, maybe during my metamorphosis phase or my frontal lobe being freaking developed. I understood that you do not need to trade anything or to prove yourself to be loved. One, you don't need to barter your way to feeling worthy. You don't need to barter your way to feeling accepted. You don't need to barter your way to feeling enough. It doesn't even work. It's it's the opposite of a double coincidence. It's a double fallacy. You were bought with a price. Jesus already did everything to make you worthy in the sight of God, in the sight of the Father. And your posture always, while you're in that covering of worthiness, because it is a covering that you have been given by grace, is that it's undeserved mercy, because it's completely undeserved, but yet you eat the benefits of a child of Israel. You eat the benefits of a son of God because of the sacrifice of the firstborn son of God. Right now, you are enough, not because you've met any standard. That's the whole purpose of mercy. It's undeserved love, undeserved kindness. Society says we have to earn our worth, but we don't. You don't have to earn your worth. Look good, smell good, walk around feeling good, whatever, but none of that has anything to do with your worth. Possessions don't define your worth. Successes don't define your worth. Relationships don't define your worth. The only thing that defines your worth is Jesus. There's a song, "You thought I was worth saving, so you came into my life." You can decide right now. I want you to make a list of all of the things that you see as goals or ambitions or things that you want to achieve. Things that you can say, I won't be happy until I have this. I won't be happy till I do this. I won't be happy till I look like this. I won't be happy till I look like that. Make a list of all of those things and then look at the list and then say to yourself, what if I was just enough right now? What if I just, right now as I am, don't need to achieve any of this for me to feel validated or me to feel enough, me to feel like I've done it or me to feel fulfilled or worthy? I don't need to achieve any of this. Right now, as I am, I'm enough as I am, with or without these things. That feeling of relief, that is where you're meant to live. You're meant to live in that feeling of relief because it's the truth. There's nothing outside of you that can add or subtract to your inherent worth. Nothing. Your worth is in Christ. And you start seeing yourself this way, then you start attracting things that are for you. Because you allow yourself to be your true self. You're not in a state of constant suppression of who you are. You're not in a state of be happy when, I'll be successful when, I'll be this, I'll be this. You're enough right now. It actually gives you freedom and liberty to work hard, to move differently, to think differently, because nothing you do can add or subtract from your inherent baseline of being enough. I want you to think of your self-worth as universal currency. You deserve everything. Your worth is something you're born with. You don't need to hustle for it. You don't need to buy it. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to throw it in people's faces so that they see it. No, you just have it. It's just there. It's an endless source of value. Whatever room you enter, you're valuable to that room. You add to that room. You become an addition to that room. Whatever place you enter, you become an addition to that place. This is for someone who's scared to freaking post videos of themselves online. Just post them. Oh my gosh. It's not that big of a deal. No one's even thinking about it that much. Do you think people are so concerned? People have their own issues. Just be valuable. You're valuable. Instead of trading parts of yourself to feel valuable, or these imaginary, fictionary, this is what makes a good that. I have to be that, otherwise I won't be accepted. Instead of doing that exhausting game that is draining your femininity, that is draining your being energy, you're relaxing, you're vibing, you're doing whatever energy. Just accept the fact that you was accepted. You were accepted. Imagine holding a currency that's like, you can use it all the time. You can transact with it. You can spend it. You can steward it. Your self-worth is the same way. It gives you the confidence. Self-worth is confidence. Self-worth is the currency of confidence. Have confidence whenever you are aware of your value. You don't need to reach a certain goal. Let me tell you, this girl on the internet is telling you right now, you don't need to reach a certain goal. You don't need to reach a certain weight. You don't need to reach a certain look or aspiration to be enough. You don't need to meet someone's standard to be enough. You don't have to earn love to be enough, to be lovable. You are lovable as you are. Aw, it's cute. You're already valuable. You have inherent value. You are so, so valuable. This will keep you from accepting less than you deserve to. Think about where you've been trading parts of yourself to feel like you're enough. Can you let all of that go and just can you relax? Can you not play that game, that exhausting game that you don't have to play, that's eating your life force energy up? You don't have to be useful to be loved. I love you though. I don't even know you. I don't know how useful you are, but that has nothing to do with me loving you.